Hey everybody, DXUN here, and we're on the PTS, again, closed beta, and I'm going to be showing you what we have. Again, this is day one, so things could definitely change, but I wanted to go through the combat specs, well, the 3 combat specs for the new discipline stuff. So if you're not used to it, I'm going to just abandon everything. Okay, so as we know, there's 3 different specs that hasn't changed. The only thing that has changed in some cases is the name. So what used to be madness for the assassin is now called hatred, deception, and then darkness. So again, some of them are similar, some of them change. It just depends, right? So you pick which one you want to pick. I picked hatred. It just shows you some of the abilities you're going to get, right? So you have an idea of what you're getting into. Obviously, also tells you the role and everything if you're completely new. And once you are ready to commit. And here we go. Now we have our utility points, which we have 6. Again, this guy's level 55. He's not 60. I could go and make him 60, but that's not the point here. So I'm just going to go through the utilities because that's the biggest thing, really. This here, you don't really have a whole lot to say about. Basically, you get them at a certain level. And then these here will unlock, will actually fill those spots, right? So as you can see, there is 6 of them. So therefore I have 6 skills and then a 7th one here, right? All the ones that have a green little thing around them are actual abilities. So that field, you get level 10 now. You get Creeping Terror at 26, and you get Leeching Strike at 41. And then later on you get Demolish as level 57. Okay, so without further ado, we have to go through utilities. But again, utilities are really just that. A lot of them, most of them, if not all of them, are passive skills. Let me check, but I'm pretty sure they're all passive. So there you go. They're all passive skills. Not, it's just something. Usually they're defensive cooldowns or something nice to have. But the first one reduces the cooldown of Jolt by 2 seconds, which is your interrupt, and then Unbreakable Will by 30 seconds, which is your get out of CC ability, and Force Speed by 5 seconds. So again, pretty good thing, avoidance, right? So we'll select it, and as you can see, it fills that one available utility point, and it also removes one here. Next one is lowers the cooldown of Electrocute, which is your stun, by 10 seconds. In addition, your whirlwind affects up to 2 additional standard or weak enemies within 8 meters of the target that you actually are using your whirlwind on. So that's actually pretty good. If depending on what you're doing, it can actually be very good. Increases your movement speed by 15% and your effective stealth level by 5. So that's what I would actually normally take. For me anyways, because I like stealth speed. Maybe it's got to do with leveling 55s during 12 time XP, I don't know. But anyways, that's probably what I would pick. And then I have to pick one more. So this one here says increases the damage dealt by lacerate by 25%, which is I think this one here, which I think is an AoE. I think most of the class have a 25% increase on AoE ability, or at least I've seen a few that shows that already. Increases your armor rating by 30% while a lightning charge or surging charge is active. In addition, targets you guard against insulation when they take damage, increasing their damage reduction by 1%. This effect stacks up to 3 times, cannot occur more than once per second, and lasts up to 10 seconds if you keep guard on a target. But we're not going to guard anybody, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to put it here anyway. And then the last one was Overload binds its target in electricity, immobilizing them for 5 seconds. Direct damage dealt after 2 seconds ends the effect prematurely. And then we get into the masterful side of the house. And the first one is increases the duration of Force Shroud by 2 seconds and Force Speed by 0.5. Force Shroud is a defensive cooldown that basically makes you immune to just about anything as far as damage is concerned. So you would add 2 seconds, so that would actually be pretty darn good, especially for a tank to have that. Increases the duration of Force Slow and reduces the cooldown by 6 seconds each, so that's not too bad either. Reduces the cooldown of Blackout by 15 seconds, which is your increased stealth, I believe. Blackout. And then Force Cloak, which is the one that you use to stealth while in combat, by 30 seconds. So that's actually pretty good. That's what I would pick. Targets controlled by your spike or electrocute take 50% more damage from all sources. So while they're stunned, I'm assuming they take 5% more. So that's actually a pretty big deal for them because they bank on really crushing you really fast. Especially in PvP, that would probably be something you really want. Force speed grants immersion, removing all impairing effects and granting immunity to them for the duration. So that's not bad at all either. Although force speed doesn't last a ton of time, it's long enough that actually can allow you to get a few shots in there. When damage breaks your mind trap prematurely, the targets will suffer from sapped mine, reducing the damage they deal by 25% for 10 seconds. So if somebody screws up, you take less damage afterwards, but it's, yeah, not too big of a deal. Reduces the cooldown of overload by 2.5 seconds, and recklessness grants 1 additional charge when activated. So when recklessness, we know that's basically guaranteed crits. So it increases another charge, another ability that you can use that will crit as well. I would probably pick this or this. But again, everybody's got different idea of what they want to do with their character. So now we're in the heroic tab, and I can only pick one more because again, technically I would be able to pick 2, and I don't have to pick them in heroic either. I could pick them anywhere. So if there's actually a lot of masterful ones that you like, you can actually pick more than the 2 that we have already, and that doesn't matter at this point. Anyways, let's check. First one, when a target recovers from being stunned by your spike or electrocute, its movement speed is reduced by 90% for 3 seconds. That is crazy. Because all they're trying to do is run away. When you're slow, it's just almost like it plays with your psyche. It's almost like, oh, I gotta fucking run away, but you can't. For 3 seconds, you're going nowhere. So that's actually pretty good for PvP. Increases all healing received by 3%. In addition, deploying phase walk. Also deploys Assassin's Shelter, increasing the healing done by those within 5 meters of the phase walk. So that's actually pretty darn good as well. That's something that for PvE that's for sure going to be used. If your whirlwind breaks early from damage, the target is stunned for 2 seconds. Oops, sorry. In addition, whirlwind activates instantly. So not too bad. If they break it, they get stunned for 2 seconds, and you automatically can use whirlwind instantly. No cooldown. While deflection is active, you are immune to stun, sleep, lift, and incapacitating effects. That can be actually really good as well if you're a wrecking machine. That will definitely, nothing's going to stop you there. Force pull immobilizes its target for 3 seconds. Leeching strike immobilizes its target for 2 seconds, and slow slash immobilizes its target for 1 second after the incapacitating effect wears off. So that's not too bad either. It's against another neat to have ability. Activating Force Cloak grants 2 seconds of Force Shroud. Okay, and then the last one, Force Cloak increases your movement speed by 50% while it's inactive. It is active, and Force Slow reduces the movement speed of its target by an additional 20%. So those are very good as well. I think this for PvE would be definitely the one, but this is actually pretty good for PvP and killing mobs. So I'm gonna go with that. Actually, not for leveling. I'm gonna go for something else, but anyways. It doesn't matter anyways. So here we go, and when you're ready you commit. And then there you go, you have your abilities. And that would be hatred. So I'm gonna reset this and we're gonna go through the other ones, but that's gonna be a lot quicker now that I've showed you a little bit how it works. So abandon that. And let's go tanking. Here we go. So again, our tanking abilities are here. They were all showing on the main page anyway. Surrounds you, so that's Dark Ward, surrounds you in a Dark Ward with 15 charges that increases your shield chance by 15% for 20 seconds. Each time you successfully shield Dark Ward loses 1 charge. Does not stack, does not break stealth, sorry. And then causes your up to 8 targets to wither. We know wither, so it hasn't really changed, I don't think. Yeah, it's an AoE that you use, and it's actually pretty good. Force pull, which we've all known as well. Deprecating Volts, I think that's new. Deals 3,599 energy damage to the target and consumes 40 force over the duration of the channel. Slows the movement speed of the target by 50% and stuns weak or standard enemies while channeled. So that sounds not too bad at all. Now if we look, it's all the same skills. The same skill tree applies to all 3 specs. So it's just a matter of looking at this and finding what it would actually best apply to or work with. So, and then if you do that, you should be fine. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. So that's your tanking one. Again, it's the only ability that changes is Deprecating Volts. Let's see. Abandon. And now Deception. Right away we can tell Ball Lightning is the one that's changing here. So Ball Lightning blasts the target with a ball of lightning for 1544 to 1625 energy damage standard, and weak targets are additionally stunned for 3 seconds. Not a bad spell, if I might say so myself. It's probably gonna take it's probably gonna take over Shock. That's what I can see. Because it's instant. I'm pretty sure in that rotation that's where it fits. That's what you gotta look at. Usually pretty much all the top spells usually are replacing something that was in the rotation before that's very similar. So again, you can, these do not change, they're all the same, and then you select you make your spec that way. So again, thanks for watching, and then this again was for the Sith Assassin. We'll be going through all of them, so stay tuned and see you in a few.